Welcome to the Adobe Animate bouncing ball tutorial. So the first thing you need to do is open Adobe Animate and ask for a new file. And your new file should be a large file. So when this kind of pop-up pops up, what you want to do is you want to ask for full HD or at least a project that is 1080p. You can change the frame rate to 24 frames a second or leave it at 30. I prefer 24, but for this video, I did 30. So this is the interface. You've got your toolbar on the left-hand side. What you're going to do is you're going to ask for a oval tool, and then you're going to make a circle in the top left corner. I don't care what color it is, just make a circle here. Then move to your timeline. That's at the bottom. Take and drag the timeline to 2 seconds. You should see multiple kind of keyframes there, but we want to make this all one keyframe. So the next part is really important. What you want to do is you're going to hold your cursor over the top of that timeline, and then on your keyboard you're going to hold Control. When you hold Control, then you're going to go to Insert Keyframes. It should change everything to sort of a light blue color. Then do the same thing again and go to Create Motion Tween. Do not create Classic Tween. That will not work. It will ask you if you want to convert the selection. You go ahead and say yes. That will turn your timeline yellow. Once you have your timeline into Motion Tween, then what you're going to do is you're going to start to move your bouncing ball or your circle with the selection tool, which is the black arrow at the top. What I want to do is I'm going to go to the 1 second spot on my timeline, and I'm going to click, and then I'm going to move my ball to the bottom of the project. So it looks like it's bouncing off the bottom of the project. Then you're going to move all the way to the very before the one right before the end, and then you're going to move your ball to the top right-hand corner. This should automatically make your ball bounce from the top right or top left corner to the top right corner, and once it hits the bottom, you're going to have it so that it goes up. If you want to do the squash and stretch method, you have to use the free transform. That is the second button down. Go to the frame before, or you can go to the frame on 1 second and squash it down so that you have a kind of a squash on the ball, so that when it hits that spot, it squashes. But that's only going to keep it squashed. So what you want to do next is you're going to go to the next frame in that timeline next to that particular frame at 1 second. So notice I'm checking it here and I'm moving it back to the frame right after it, and then I'm going to go back to my free transform, and I'm going to unsquish it so that it looks like it is back as the circle. This will automatically change from the squash circle to the unsquashed one, and it will make it look like your ball has done the squash and stretch. Notice that? The other thing you might want to do, because it's slowly squashing it as it goes down, you're probably going to want to take and change it the frame before the 1 second as well. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So now we're going to change the frame before, but before we do that, you'll notice this looping piece at the end. So it looks kind of like an arrow with a line. What you want to do is you want to make sure that your entire project is looping. So take that, it's right above your timeline, and drag that blue line back so that it's looping, so that we can watch this in a loop. What you want to do next is then you're going to go to that frame before your bouncing ball, but we're going to test this, and it's looking pretty good, but the squashing is happening before we get to that mark. So I'm going to change it. I'm going to go back to that frame before the 1 second, and I'm going to bring it back to the full ball, because it really only squashes when it touches a surface. So now this should automatically tween to that and make it look like it, when it hit, it squashes. And there we go. So now we're ready to export this out to an MP4 so that we can turn it in. We need to make it a video. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to File, and then we're going to export the file to a video or media file. When that pops up, you're going to get this window. Leave all of the pre-settings already done. Just double check that it's actually saving to your desktop. If it isn't saving to your desktop, then you need to change that there. Go ahead and hit export. If there's any pop-ups that pop up, just hit OK. And then it should work. And then you can quit Animate as long as you're saved. And then you should be able to find your file on your desktop. And it should have the title of the file and then behind it MP4. You're done. Take that, drag it, drop it into the classroom, and you're done.